Today on RC Toolbox, upgrading to RPM A-arms on the Jato 3.3. At the local track, we raced the Jato 3.3, and we end up going through a lot of parts. So this video is to show how to upgrade to RPM control arms. The main problem with the stock control arms is that if you get in a hard enough wreck, where the pin is gets broken right out of the control arm or the rear bulkhead or differential. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade to the RPM blue control arms. They're a pretty good value, about $15, $16 a set depending on where you get them. They come with decals. Everybody loves stickers, right? And hopefully they'll make it a little bit stronger. So here we have my Jato 3.3 with the custom-made body on it. I'll show you that in another video. Some aluminum upgrades, some into G-shocks, kind of poor quality, but they work out alright. My transponder mount you can see there. Might touch on that in another video. But we're going to start off by taking off the wheels and tires. Don't need them on there. And once we get them out of the way, we're going to look at the front end of the Jato first and start by pulling off the front bumper, and then once you get the front bumper off, you can remove the pins that hold the control arms to the front bulkhead, remove your lower screw from the shocks, remove the screw from the caster block, and remove the pin that holds the control arm to the caster block, and then go ahead and remove your sway bar link. And you can actually take the sway bar completely out, because on these RPM control arms there's nowhere to mount the sway bar, and if you drill holes in the RPM control arms you void their warranty. You want to make sure you don't do that, because RPM stands behind everything they make, and it's really great if you bust something up, just give them a call, say, hey, this happened, I was running it the way you said to, and they'll get you a new set in the mail. I've never had an RPM part break, but I know people at the track who have, and that's the service they get from RPM. It's a great company. Here you'll see I have a magnetic parts tray, something handy to hang on to your small Allen screws, or Allen wrenches and small screws. You can use the bottom of it if you want. You can use the top of it, different jobs. Pretty handy to have. You can pick them up at Harbor Freight, Home Depot, maybe even dollar stores by now, who knows. And they'll hold on to anything steel. The aluminum parts won't stick to it, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and start pulling apart the front end here. See, I'm taking off the lower shock screw right now. So once you've removed both of those screws, the control arms, the whole front assembly kind of flops around. Now it's time to pop off the little aluminum tie connector in the front. Once you have that off, you can pull the pins out one at a time. Hopefully you kept them greased from the last time you had it apart, because it definitely makes it easier. Pull the pin from the outside, and there you have the first control arm off. The same on the other side. Pop it out. And now we're pretty much ready to open up the package and throw our new ones in. Here we go, RPM, $12, I was wrong. So the package comes with some instructions and stickers again. And the instructions tell you that rather than having that blue anodized M4 screw come from the front of the control arm, it now goes in the back. So that's something to be mindful of. When you get them out of the package, you want to take your old control arms and just make sure that they compare about the same, so that you have one left and one right. As you can see, the RPM ones are a lot beefier. They're much more solid arm, but yet they're still pretty flexible. And so here we're about to put them into the chassis, align the pins, and then spray a little WD-40 or silicone lubricant or whatever you have just in there to loosen them up, keep them free. Start aligning all our shocks and put in some of our screws, and pretty soon we'll have the front end all patched back together, and we'll start on the back end. Now, if you want to keep your sway bar links on the Jato, you can go ahead and use a small zip tie and go through the bottom of the link and around the control arm. It's not going to be as good as a solid mounting location would have been, but it might maintain some amount of sway with the vehicle. I've seen guys do it. I'm doing it right now, and in running it last year on another vehicle, it seemed to work all right, but hard to tell for sure. Just make sure they're good and snug and trim off the excess. And now we're beginning on the rear. There's some more decals. Pretty much the same as the front, just going to tear into the package, make sure everything looks right. As always, go by RPM's instructions so you don't void your warranty. And we're going to start by pulling off the outer caster blocks or hubs, whatever you want to call them. And then taking off the lower shock screws. On the rear, you do have to disassemble the rear differential case, which means taking the shock tower off, sway bar mount, and then you actually remove everything that allows you to access the pins. If you notice, mine doesn't have the rear mounted battery box. You might have that in your way to contend with. So make sure you follow the Jato booklet and take a look at the exploded views to see what you have to remove in order to get this to work. And same deal as the front. Whenever you pop your pins out, make sure you put a little bit of super lube or WD-40 on them so that you can get them out easier next time, and it allows some lubrication inside of there. As you can see, I have the aluminum hub carriers, so when you're using anything aluminum with a steel screw, you want to make sure you put a little bit of Loctite on the screw. Not too much, and you don't want it to be the heavy duty, you want just light duty or medium duty. That way you can get it back out next time, but then again, you don't want it falling out while you're going around the track, so a little Loctite here and there. So there we go, we got both of the old ones off, one of the new ones back on, and while I've got this apart, I'm actually going to replace an axle shaft because one of them was bent in a crash, and rather than buying a whole new set, another one of the guys had one that he broke off the end of the dog bone, so I was able to just at the end of the stub shaft, so I was able to just put the dog bone in place and replace that. And a little bit of a bend to them might not seem like much, but when you're going around the track at 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, it is really throwing the back end of your car out of balance. So something to keep in mind. There we have the other control arm back in. Get them both lined up, and this can be kind of a tedious task sometimes. Go ahead and align the rear bumper, get everything lined up in place. Start putting in some screws here and there. And pretty quickly we'll have the back end of the car all done just like the front.
began to fade. You said it was forever, but then it slipped away. Standing at the end of the final masquerade, the final masquerade. All I ever wanted, the secrets that you keep. All you ever wanted, the truth I couldn't speak. 'Cause I can't see forget.
As always, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button.
The next time you break something on your RC or want to upgrade to the latest and greatest parts, be sure to check out RC Toolbox and we'll help you fix it. Until next time, try not to break it too bad and bring lots of spare parts. You're gonna need them.